bury this. If I've made any mistakes, I don't want to bury it. Do we have an answer yet on what I said and what the real number is yet? Okay. I'm sorry, but numbers are, I don't even know what's a big number anymore. If I said billion or trillion, 550 billion, half a trillion, or what I said, I want to make sure I have the number right. We will correct it by the end of the show. We are checking on it, not because anybody called us on it, because we were questioning it ourselves in the middle of the break. We're talking about Americorp today, and I am not sure what people think of Americorp. Probably not much, one way or the other. It could be, the admitted far-left radicals in the White House, like regulatory czar Cass Sunstein, the author of Nudge. This could be creating the massive civilian national security force through many radical groups like Acorn, Storm, International Answer. That's a communist group. SCIU and others, bringing them under the umbrella of Americorp in the form of one massive community organization. I haven't heard any other explanations for the civilian force as well funded as the military. Until I do, America, we must continue to ask questions. Joining me now is Michelle Malkin. She is the author of Culture of Corruption. Pat Caddell, former senior advisor to President Carter. Both are Fox News contributors. Michelle, I want to start with you quickly. The anarchist that was arrested in Denver. First, the Democrats came out and said it's the enemies of health care. That made the Republicans say, I demand an answer, because they found out that this guy had been taking money from the Democratic Party. And I hear SCIU. But more importantly, and nobody got this right, this guy is an anarchist. He's using the Democratic Party and their money to overthrow all of it. True or false?
I think that's largely true, Glenn, and the fact is that it is anarchist groups on the internet that raised his $5,000 bail, and it's quite extraordinary that such a young guy with his flannel shirt-clad brigade was able to raise that money so quickly. The anarchist movement is something that I've followed since my days in Seattle, and it's quite worrisome. We hear so much from the mainstream media about the threat of right-wing mobs and the right-wing militias, but over the past several decades, you've had groups like the Earth Liberation Front and the Animal Liberation Front. And by the way, Maurice Schwenkler, this accused vandal in Denver, attributed his inspiration to the Earth Liberation Front, which is dedicated not only to bringing down capitalism, but also the military, and all fall under this anti-war rubric, which provides a continuum, because you see the connections between a young man and his friends like this to the Bay Area Storm movement, which, remember, we talked about the other day, Glenn, started out as Roots Against War.
Okay, wait a minute. But Storm also was our Green Job czar, his group. There is connection between Storm and this person in Denver?
What I'm saying is that there is a continuum here, that all of these groups share common goals of bringing down the military and engaging in, and you see these same phrases over and over again in the book that we talked about, in the propaganda on the internet about quote-unquote direct actions and quote-unquote black bloc activities.
Okay, listen, America First, you have to understand. It's not right or left. It's not Republican and Democrat here. Anarchist, people that don't like the Constitution or our federal government in any way, shape, or form on both sides. The extremes are the real danger here. Pat, you are a liberal. You worked for Carter. I said in 2004, I warned the Democrats when they put Michael Moore in that box next to Jimmy Carter. I said, you don't understand. This guy is a radical socialist Marxist, and he and people like him are using you, not the other way around.
Yeah, he has his own agenda, and one of it is not, by the way, the truth, which has always been my problem with Michael Moore. But look, what you're saying is right in this sense that most of the country has no idea that there are, on the fringes in this country on both sides. By the way, we don't have a continuum from left to right. We have a circle.
Yes.
And when it meets at the back, it is totalitarianism.
Yes.
Fascism and communism meet at the back, all right? And you have people who are, frankly, a little crazy. And what happens is when you overheat the environment, when politics, when both parties are going after their bases and everything the other side does is evil, you intensify that. Well, the people out on the extremes in the hothouse who are susceptible to real yellow fever in a bad way, they become even more crazy.
This is the part, and I want to come back to this. When we come back, I have to show you some video, and we have so much more to talk about. But when we come back, I think this is the point that everybody is missing. The American people have detached from the political system. They don't like either side right now.
Saying, where are we?
Right, exactly right. Okay, back in just a second.